Transparency in the chair. Are you guys wondering what that's all about? Well, I'm here to tell you. I am Kay Simpson Buffet, and we have Ray Fletcher coming to the mic. We have two dynamic stylists that's been in the industry for over 50 years. 50 years of experience, stories, knowledge, a wealth of information to give to you guys. You know, whether we're helping you with relationships, helping you with business ideas, how to handle a certain client, or whatever. This is what we're here to do.
With authentic and transparent moments and some of the world's most craziest chairs, we are bringing the juice to you, along with our perspectives, of course.
We always going to start off with a good, juicy topic, give you the body of that thing, and then we're going to end up with some actual factuals. Our show is going to be very transparent. You're going to get all the tea, all the juice on what's going on.
All stories have originated from the chair, be it the salon chair, barber chair, massage chair, facial chair. These are stories and topics that you can relate to, learn from, and grow from.
So we just want you to join us every week as we come through, giving you a little segment of ourselves, and we're just here to share. Tune in.
Well. Hey, girl.
Hey, sister.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Y'all
How
are
are you?
in for a treat today.
Woo, it's going to be juicy.
I need y'all to get y'all a glass of wine, your cocktail, your lemon drop, whatever you need.
I think should be a censored.
It is.
It's not PG-13.
Put the kids away.
Put the kids away.
It's not for the children.
Right. So if you're in the car, if you're in an outing publicly, if there's children around, please,
Yeah.
put it in your ear.
You've been warned.
Yes.
I would like to introduce. Can I introduce this host?
Yes, you can.
All right. Today, our co-host is Ricjuane.
What?
Ricjuane Jenkins.
Oh, that sounds
Hey, how you doing? Thank you. I love it when you say that.
That sound like we're about to get into
If it's brand, it's
You know,
brand. It's
kind of
on
like
brand.
Fabio.
Fabio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that, Louis. We're gonna keep that.
All right,
Right.
but this is my my PV. You know.
You know.
My PV buddy. We go way back in theater and plays and sound and all those things. But he is also my client. And we have some conversations in the chair when it's just us in the room. Sometimes when there's more people in the room, too. So we invited him on today, and today's topic is taking control of your pleasure.
Pleasure. What pleasure?
What pleasure?
What pleasure? What I mean,
Rick,
because
what
I
pleasure?
find pleasure in making money, or I find pleasure
Shopping.
in shopping, or I can find pleasure in intimacy.
That one. That's
I
the
think that's
one.
what
Oh, the
we're
intimacy
yes,
one.
That's
yes.
what we're talking about.
Oh Lord,
Yes.
I'm
The one to
excited.
get your nether regions all tingly.
What?
Tingly is what he said.
Tingly.
Now, this is a married man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And
happily married.
Right. He has dived into this topic. Rick, I'm gonna let you explain what got you motivated. Other than that, you're a man, and most men is what they think about all day. Let's be
Right.
clear. Other than that, let's talk about how you got interested in what is the interest. What are we talking about today?
Most men are interested. However, I had to come. That is not my primary reason why, and here's why. Growing up, I was taught that sex was wrong until I hit the age to where it was like, well, no, you have babies, so sex is okay. So I grew up with this sort of shame around sex, and then I hit puberty, and all these thoughts started coming. There was wet dreams and stuff, and I was like, well, am I sinning? So
Right.
it was a journey to figure out there's nothing wrong with me. When I finally decided to be intimate, there was still a little shame behind that, but it was such an enjoyable experience. And it wasn't enjoyable because, oh, I'm just having sex. No,
Yeah.
it was the entire thing with it, the leading up to it, the foreplay, the actual act, everything else that came afterwards. Although when that happened, I was too young to be cuddling with someone afterwards.
Right,
But
right.
as I got older, then yeah, and then it's just been a journey finding more and more out about it, and the more I find out about it, the more I find about me.
It, huh?
Yeah.
The it.
The it.
And it being sexual satisfaction
Okay.
and pleasure and being in charge of it. And the older I get, the more comfortable I am with me and trying new things. When I was younger, I didn't think masturbation was a good. I was like, no, you can have a girlfriend. That's what she's for. And not knowing how ignorant that sounds. Well, right now, saying it out loud sounds ignorant. But
well, you know what you know.
And I love that you're saying that.
Yeah.
I love, because a lot of men say that. If I have a person or whatever, well, I don't need to be masturbating because, what are you here for? I've heard that on a gazillion times. Like, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm not just here for that. You know what I'm saying? So what does that look like? It's natural for even women to masturbate, even though they have a spouse or whatever, because sometimes you just want to do it.
Right.
Well,
and it's okay,
yeah. And
right?
I mean, it's checking in with yourself. It's exploring yourself and some things you may want to explore that you may not be ready to introduce to a partner, or if you have one at all, things you may like and you may enjoy. And how are you going to expect someone to please you when you don't know how to please yourself?
That part.
Facts.
That part.
Hands down, drop the mic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's important. Even when you're in a committed or semi-committed relationship, still that exploration. And how you come to that exploration is really debatable, because most men like visual stimulation, and that's where porn comes in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But unfortunately, when it comes to porn, that's a lot of people's education, male and female.
Yes. So wrong.
And it's horrible.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up with a lot of men just masturbating in the vagina when it comes to sexual intercourse.
Wait.
Rewind. Say that one more again.
That's what
A lot of men end up masturbating in the vagina.
Damn.
Listen.
Damn.
That's profound. That's
Because
next
that's
level.
really what
You
it
know what?
is.
And I will say, when it comes to porn, I really wasn't like into it because it seemed fake. It seemed like, okay, this is just so. It just didn't look right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got more pleasure out of seeing a love story that would turn me on versus just the whole scripted situation. And for me, I've always with my person, I'm like, why are you watching porn? I hated when my spouse watched porn, because I'm like, I'm not that porn star. So I feel like when men watch it, their expectation for their spouse,
Okay, so let's ask the
is
man.
supposed to be like,
Let's ask the man in the room.
they want to try, they want to flip you up on the thing, and I'm like, hey man, these legs ain't gonna do that. You understand?
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. That's her. That's not me. And then they want
so
this,
ask
and
the
then when you
man.
don't get it,
Ask him.
right? So is that the expectation? Because in the mind, it seems like you see it, so then you want to recreate that, and then sometimes it's not fair to the female. I don't.
That is true. It is not. And short answer is yes and no. Because yes, we do want to see that, but if we can get close, we're actually okay with that. But part of the problem with porn, and porn is not the problem. Porn is not the problem.
No.
It is how we use porn, just like money. Money's the root of all, even though
The
it
love
is
of money.
right how we choose to use it. So same thing with porn, right? So if I'm watching porn as a young teenager,
Right.
as I did with most people, then that tends to be your education. But that is equivalent of me learning how to drive, watching Fast and Furious.
Right.
Right. Okay.
That was a good analogy.
That was
So,
real good.
Love it.
Good
You
analogy.
know,
Yeah.
that it's entertainment. Can I drive a car, hit the side of a freeway, jump out of the windshield, catch my girlfriend, land on the other windshield, and then everybody walks
it's
away?
safe.
Yeah. No.
If there's a big budget movie, then
Right,
yes. In real life, some things are
Yeah.
ow.
No. Yes. Yes. What was that?
Right.
Ow, yeah.
Yeah.
Glass.
So you can't look at it. It is entertainment. When I watch porn, I put myself, insert male here. That's me. So
Okay.
I don't expect you or my partner. I don't expect her to do those things. Can we get some ideas for some things to try? Absolutely. Could it be, some things that feed a fantasy? Absolutely. If it's some things we want to try, then okay, we need to work up for that. Never be embarrassed to stretch before a sex session.
I know that's right.
Okay,
Listen.
I'm just
sometimes it do feel like exercise on
I mean, if they're talking about you can burn calories and it's a workout, and I'm not talking about the quickie maintenance sessions or anything like that. I'm talking about, because they're needed, but you also need those sessions to where you take your time and it's what's that song, I can do this for hours and hours and hours. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we're having intercourse for hours, but we are having a sexual experience for hours. And there's an importance of that when it comes to intimacy that I actually believe there's an importance of that in long-term relationships and just relationships to where it may not be long-term, because transparency in the chair, right? Some of your best sexual experiences are not with long-term partners. Sometimes it's that hot moment with that particular person, for that particular season or whatever it is. That doesn't mean that particular sexual experience is invalid. It is valid, but as long as two people are understanding, hey, this is what it is, these are the rules, and we adhere to it, then that's what it is. But when it comes to sex, part of the reason why we have the issues that we have in it to begin with is because we don't talk.
Right.
We don't talk. When I was younger, I would tell a girl like, hey, I like you, I want to get to know you better and stuff like that. And I got shot down more times than not. And I'm not saying that that's not parts of the course, but it was me being completely honest. But I would also tell them if I was dating other people, I'm dating other people as well. Okay. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just saying, let's be honest with it as well. And they were like, well, what you mean? And stuff like that. And the reason why I said that is because
transparent. I hear transparency.
Yeah.
Okay, transparency.
It was the sigh.
Okay, I'm going to go with the lower number. Okay, probably anywhere from 85 to 90% of the women that I was with cheated on me in some form.
Dang.
But they all came back.
Period.
So, so the ego in me is like, you know what I'm saying? That's right, girl. You went over there, found out, that wasn't necessarily me. That's partly true. But the reality is, at the time I compared it to like a candy bar, right? Like insert whatever your favorite candy is, right?
Right.
You can eat that all day, every day, right? But every now and then, I like a whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You mean, what's the name?
Exactly.
And, there's a lot of...
variety of spice of life,
right.
Yeah.
But we don't communicate that enough, and that's how we end up being hurt. And it's not that we don't have fantasies or other things like that, and I'm not advocating everybody go jump into bed with everybody else, because that's not for everybody either.
Right.
But we have to be honest with ourselves and where we are as a people.
Right.
These things do happen. I would rather know up front and let me make the decision whether or not I want to be with you or not than to find out. And then I've opened up myself and I needed to not open up that particular self because you over here, doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Right.
So tell me this. How do you... Because you said earlier, you have to know how to please yourself before you can be. Well, you don't have to, but it's good.
You should, but yes.
You should know how to please yourself before you can either be pleased by someone else or please that other person. So, what would you say? Let's talk about married people first, then we can go to single people. We all married at this table.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is. Yeah. What would you say to the married couple to open up this conversation? Because if you married to this guy or this person or your partner or whatever, your mindset should be, well, I'm committed for life, so we ain't going nowhere. So what's the harm in talking about this? We shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about this. How would you open up that conversation if you already know hopefully you guys have had this conversation before marriage, but say we're already in this thing and we never did. To a listener that's like, damn, I need to do this. How would you start that conversation? Or what would you suggest you go with it?
Okay, first and foremost. Relax. You know your spouse.
Okay.
It's going to look different for everybody. So you need to find the things that resonate with your spouse. If it's okay, so I listened to a podcast called Sex with Emily. And she says in that communication is lubrication. And she also says that when you talk about sex, you should talk to them, your person, outside of the bedroom. Right. So I agree with that because if you're outside of the bedroom, it's no pressure. You know, because if you're talking about, hey, I want to try this, it's like, oh crap, you want to try this now?
Like right now?
Right.
Somehow I got to get my mind right.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Might have to do a stretch or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe I need to do a little bit more research.
Right.
You know, on how to do it. So no, have that conversation outside of the bedroom.
That's a good. Okay.
And be open. Both parties. Be open, because again, this is your partner, this is your teammate, this is the person that loves you beyond anything else and should not be judging you. Just because it may not be something you may not be into, that don't necessarily mean that you need to necessarily close it off, because there may be a compromise. It's like, well, I want to hang from a chandelier. Well, baby, I may be a little too, we don't have the support for that chandelier.
Support means
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How about let's get a door swing?
Yeah.
and let's compromise. I'm hanging, but it's safe and we not gonna die.
Yeah.
So
I would like to not die.
Yeah, so have a compromise. I would start there. And if not, there are plenty of games out there that are like flooded my IG, like Tonight's Conversation, and other games to get
cards, dice.
Yeah, dice. Yeah, all of that. Go to a sex shop together. Together.
Yeah.
Together. There's nothing more fun than going in with your person and seeing what they like. It doesn't have to be all at that one time. You can, hey, these are the things I want to explore. Let's try this first. Let's try this first. And be communicative. Like, hey, that worked. That didn't necessarily work. Or you try something that first time and it was like, hey, we need to, practice that a little bit more. But the conversation needs to start outside of the bedroom. And both parties need to be aware of that. Like, one of the things my wife and I are working on right now is having the date. Like, this is our date night.
Right.
And we use it for whatever it is. Like if it's intimacy, we have an intimacy date night. We have a date night that we go out and stuff like that, because as much as I love my kids are not more important than my marriage.
All right. That's fact. Okay.
I didn't say they're not a priority. They're not a priority. They are. They are definitely a priority.
Yeah.
Love them to death. Love them like no other love I've ever felt in my life. But they would not be here.
Right.
Without that woman.
Right.
And me communicating on a level ordained by God.
Come on now.
So therefore, I need to do what's necessary to keep that blessing thriving. And a lot of us let the hustle and bustle of life get us by to where we neglect that.
Right.
And no, because when I come in the house and that door closed, I'm not worried about the world. I'm worried about what's behind these walls.
That's right.
And she's part of that. And I need to do my due diligence to make sure, not happy wife, happy life, but that our marriage is happy, because we both need to be happy. And so whatever I need to do that, and sex is a big part of that, then no matter how uncomfortable the conversation is, it's okay, because I'm with her.
Because you with her.
I'm safe.
That's deep.
That's the thing. Because
that's growth right there.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say that sex is very taboo. It's a taboo subject. Unless you have a level of you're researching, you're one to improve in this area, you're going to be honest with yourself as well as your partner. Because there's certain, and I know this, being a hairstylist, we hear a lot, and we hear a lot from the women's perspective. And when a woman, there's certain things that every woman wants to say to their partner, and they just cannot, because the partner, there's a lot of ego that goes with men. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like how you said, go to the sex store. A lot of men feel like, am I not good enough?
Yes.
Why do you need
a
that?
dildo?
Blah, blah, blah.
Why you need
I
this?
mean, to me, it's an accent to the situation. It heightens the orgasms to a level that you would never understand.
Yes, it is. It is an accent. I'm looking at the camera right now. It is an accent.
Exactly.
Right. It is an accent.
It is. And then so you have a lot of that, and it's kind of like retrain. You can't retrain an adult male. They've already had it, especially if they're older. They are in their mind like, no woman needs a toy. We don't need to bring this into the bedroom and this and the other. Like
no,
literally.
seriously.
No,
Yeah.
this is yes. No.
I'm sorry. Wait, those are. I'm sorry.
Yes.
What? How?
Yes.
You're not a woman. How you gonna say what a woman needs?
Jonathan?
A lot of guys are like that.
Yes. I mean, like,
Well, in the sense, I'll put it this way, like, in most guys, when they would go to like a shop like that, they were like, "Oh, so you need the womb beater?" Okay, okay. Is this where we're going with this?
right.
And then the insecurity starts hitting.
Right.
That's what it is.
That's what it is, you know?
Oh, I don't want you to get used to that.
Right.
And then you don't need me no more.
Exactly. You know,
What?
you would be.
As opposed to what you guys are saying as far as it being an accent towards that.
Right.
Absolutely. Because you're like, oh, well, we're here together. It's not this thing taking the place of that. It's just introducing it all together
Right.
in that sense. But a lot of guys, to your point, they don't have it in that
Right.
mind frame because they're like, oh, damn, okay.
So damn. So you
What do I gotta do now?
I don't think those men.
Say it.
I don't think they
That's fair.
believe the shit they talking. I'm sorry, can I say it?
Yeah.
I don't think they believe the shit they're talking.
Yeah.
Because again, me growing up with the whole machismo thing, yes, that man, I'm bravado because it's how many women have you conquered?
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing, notch on your belt. And if you're coming from that, okay, that in itself is problematic because that comes from a place of insecurity. But if you are being called on it, then it breaks down. Because if we are saying that I'm not enough because you need a toy, then all that machismo I was just talking is invalid. Because I don't
Fair.
believe the shit that I'm really
you
talking.
think.
Right.
So it's not that. It's an enhancement to what's going on. Okay, it's transparent. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's what it says.
I thought that too.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
You felt that too at one time.
Yes, until a partner
Mhm.
very lovingly was like, baby, you think a machine can hold a candle to you? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Check. Got you together. Got you together.
you absolutely right.
Good.
Cannot. Well, it's a battery. It's nonstop. Me too.
Huh.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, you're like, well, you know what I'm saying? At some point, you climax. Oh, okay. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about sex.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm nonstop. I got other things going
Come
on
okay.
now.
I got other things
That's
going
right,
on
right. That's
that
right.
we can, keep the party
keep
going.
the party going.
Again,
Yes.
That's right.
it's an enhancement to what's going
Going
on
on.
because that's a toy.
Yes.
Toy ain't gonna kiss on you the
Toy
way I'm gonna
can't
kiss
hug
on you.
you.
It
Ain't
can't.
gonna hug on
It
you.
ain't. It's not
Ain't gonna
warm.
talk that stuff
It's not
that you
any of
like.
that.
That's right. They don't hold the
You
small
know?
of that back and pull you
Exactly.
closer.
All
It
of
don't
that.
do none of that.
You know what I'm saying?
All of that.
But it is going to enhance when I'm already doing, you know what I'm
X,
saying?
Y, and Z.
Help me knock you out, so you have a good night's sleep
Right.
kind of thing. But
Right.
Right.
it ain't a replacement
Right.
for me. And if
Yes.
it is, that ain't a me problem. That's a you problem.
So that's the question of when your partner you're intimidated to talk to your partner because some men do have insecurities,
Mhm.
and then like you said, knowing your person.
Mhm.
If you know your person has insecurities, how in tarnation will you introduce a thing to them? Even some males don't even tell their spouses that they're watching porn or
Yeah, they sneaking.
they're sneaking
watching
and
it.
doing it or whatever. Or, for me, I'm so in tune with my husband. I'm like, when he tried to, okay, he's trying to put my leg across behind my neck.
He done
Oh,
seen-
he must have seen
he done
something.
watched something.
You know
Where
what
this
I'm
come
saying?
from?
Like, where the hell did this come from? I'm
Yes,
like, and we
yes.
didn't watch it together. So I'm like,
Yeah, like I don't know my part. What's
You know what I'm saying? Like, right. So then,
What's my lines again?
What's the next
right,
move?
exactly. So then
Yeah.
he might be trying to do this, and I'm like, only you knew what the move was. So I'm sitting there trying to figure. So I'm like, wait a minute.
What?
So then it brings a lot of frustration into the bedroom because then at that point it's like only you knew what the video looked like, and I'm trying to catch up, and then I might not be physically able to do that. So then you're frustrated. Oh, forget it. You know what I'm saying?
but
You
I
understand
didn't
what I'm
know-
saying?
yeah.
But I wasn't a part of the watch
The writing
session. You know what I'm saying?
So, so we all have a lot to do program.
Mhm.
And we have
program. That's
yeah.
what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean that's part of the reason why I got into this. Like I told you, because I was in the chair.
Yeah.
Like I'm being called to this, and I've been running for some years,
Right.
but it keeps
Calling you back.
It keeps calling me.
And look at you on the podcast talking about it.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Mhm.
But we have to communicate. Again, communication is lubrication. And then what is the goal?
I'm used to that.
Because in my marriage, my goal is to have the best year of our marriage every year. And if that's the case, then last year it matters in the grand scheme of the overall relationship, but it doesn't necessarily matter that we need to build upon that, not go back to like a remember what we, build upon that. And I'm not talking about, like things do ebb and flow. Yes, it does. But part of the thing, especially in a long-term relationship, is you're supposed to be getting better because that communication is supposed to get stronger. That those insecurities, yes, they are there, but because you're my person, I should be okay if you come to me and is like, hey, I want to try this. And if I'm being insecure about it, then we should be able to have a conversation as to why.
And then is it okay for you to say, no, I'm not okay with that? You know,
Absolutely. Talk about
saying?
that chart. He was telling me about a form you fill out, the yes, no, maybe.
Oh, the yes, no, maybe list. Yeah, okay.
Yes, no, maybe list.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up while I talk about it. Yeah. All right. So again, going back to the sex positive podcast that I listen to, a lot of them bring up this list called yes, no, maybe. You can find it in a lot of places. You can find it online. But if you specifically want to go, again, one of the podcasts I listen to is Sex with Emily, Dr. Emily Morse. Yeah. She has one on her website. Okay. And so, it's pulling up a lot. So, and what that yes, no, maybe list is, so it talks about certain things. You want me to go down the list or you just want me to show you?
Explain it.
Okay.
Explain it and give us some examples.
The list is the things that you will be into. So it's either a yes, no, or a maybe.
Okay.
I took it a step further because I just made my own form, and I also put a pleasure mapping thing in it as well.
Pleasure mapping.
Yeah, pleasure mapping, and that's where you map out the pleasure for the evening.
So, or can I ask you this?
Map out.
Is it?
Wait, I need to absorb that one in. You map out the pleasure for the evening.
Yes. So let's just say,
okay.
There is always the debate. What males think is pleasurable to a woman versus what's pleasure to her for real. Your spouse might say, oh, because men are kind of trained to, every woman wants to have oral sex, or, you have to do this first. Some women don't like that. That's not their hot spot,
So that's what the list will come.
You know what I'm saying? No, but he has this list, but overall, before you even get to let's go to that, if you tell your spouse, these are my hot spots, right?
Yeah.
But then you're trying something else, and it's kind of like,
yeah. So do you tell them, or do you let them find it?
Right, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're not exploratory enough. And, should they respect what you're saying in the sense of,
if they want it to work.
My ear is my hot spot.
Yeah.
Not you going downtown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
But what if I like it?
Exactly. So you like it.
Right.
But suppose she don't.
Well, okay. All right.
So what do we do?
So let's compromise.
What's the compromise?
Your hot spot is your ear.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So...
But he don't like ears.
right.
So what do we do?
But I enjoy savoring peaches.
Okay.
I know I can say it. I just want to be okay.
You can say it.
Eating pussy. I just want to say it like that because I'm trying to be clever.
But then I'm thinking peaches. I'm thinking my butt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's that too.
Right.
Okay. That's my butt.
Okay, so
we transparent up in here. Come on with it.
If your hotspot is the ear, right, then I need to make sure during that time that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, I can still get what I want, unless it's painful or you're just not into it and it's just like, no, it just takes me out of it. That's a different conversation. But both things can be had. At the goal is everyone is pleased and happy, not necessarily, I banged her back out and stuff like that. Yeah, the ego does come a part of it, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is me having this enjoyable experience with you, and then vice versa. So yes, there are some things that you're already into, but yeah, let's try some different things as well. And if you don't like it, okay, let's talk about it. Well, that really didn't do anything for me. Cool. We don't necessarily have to do that again.
Right.
Or let's try it again and let's see what wasn't pleasurable for you, because you were talking about anal sex, and I know that comes up a lot with people. And part of the problem with the anal sex is we think the anus is like the pussy, and it ain't.
It's
Right.
not. It's not.
Like, you kind of got to...
The sphincter muscle is meant for exit.
Yeah.
So it's a little...
Yeah, but if you're going to do it, there's a way to do it. Just like there's a way to jump out the plane. You're not going to jump out the plane without a parachute. Like, there's some things you have to prepare for.
Right.
You know, like, and same thing when it comes to sexual acts. You have to prepare for it. One, your partner got to know it's happening.
Right.
Two,
Hello.
y'all have to talk about it and what it looks like. And three, and this is probably number one, give yourself some grace. And, it's not going to look pretty, because, again, a lot of us are, used to reading books or looking into it on media, and it looks pretty and stuff. But that is the power of editing. Real life doesn't have that. So it's going to be some comical moments and, some sounds that you probably didn't think was going to happen. Laugh about it and move on, because that's your person. That's a little inside joke y'all got.
Yeah. It's just all in the room. This going to be the person you're going to be with. So all of those things should come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relax.
Relax. So.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
this is.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
So it's a bunch. It's a bunch on the list. It's a bunch on the list. But I'll try to get to the nitty gritty. Okay, the first one on the list is.
Put something up high, I want you to make them fly. Throw them in the sky, throw them in the sky. Make everything collide, put all your stress aside, and let the music take you anywhere like tide. Cause it's me they calling the real loco. Mass play when I on the floor, Calvin over and touch their toe.